Welcome to Xventure here live on Twitch TV. I say welcome, and that means good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for tuning in here on a Tuesday, or maybe if I say Wednesday, or if I say morning, then I must mean Wednesday morning, right? Absolutely. Appreciate you being here, and we're ready to have some fun here this evening. We've got two more races remaining before we reach the finale here of season 51. Just two more remaining. And here tonight we've got on tap Virginia International Raceway, followed by Homestead, a return to Homestead. They'd already been there once back in week number 2 on the road course, and now are going to be on the oval for 56 laps. That's not before we take care of those 16 laps out at Virginia International Raceway. And as I take a look at the lobby, we've got drivers already loaded up, ready to go here. Cratrium, Patches, Riley, Fear the Fun, Drex, Mega Chen. A return of the Mega Chen. Slow Motion Fire, LS Subaru, Born as Ghost, Cuda 93, Modern Weapon, and Midnight Rider. The 11 drivers that have joined in thus far. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a few more. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings here real quick before they get ready to head out to the track here at VIR for qualifying. We've got LS Subaru atop the leaderboard. Surprise, surprise. 200 points there. The total from week number 1, week number 2. It was in week number 3 where Cratrium there in gold, at least highlighted in gold, picked up a victory in the 6th race of the season. Road Atlanta after LS Subaru made a crucial mistake there at turn number 1 with just laps remaining. LS Subaru fell back to 8th position. But as a result of that being Subaru's worst week in terms of points, that week has been dropped from the championship point tally. So you've got Subaru, Cratrium, Born as Ghost, Drex in 3rd, Born as Ghost, Cuda 93, Slow Motion Fire, Patches Riley, Fear the Fun, Midnight Rider, and Modern Weapon. That is your top 10, and got a couple of drivers over there on the other side. Blame Barney, SFM Darkser, and like I said, Mega Chen returning to the Forza Spec Racing Series here for week number 4 of season 51. Let's go ahead and let's see, where's my audio? Donde está my sound? Hold on. We'll get this. There we go. Out to the track. If I can figure out. Yes, there we go. Oh my gosh. So I was having an Ethernet whatchamacallit issue. Ever since the drivers for my Ethernet port have updated, things have been acting wacky. So pardon me if I'm a little off at the moment, but we're going to get right on into it. Here we go. Modern Weapon here heading to the furthest point of the track. Again, Virginia International Raceway. This used to be the big tree section. The tree is gone. As you can see, no tree. And Modern Weapon going to go ahead and lead the pack here after Patches Riley struggling through that hairpin corner. 3 laps of qualifying. This first one is a standing start lap. So most of the time we see our quickest lap times on lap 2 or 3. Our Weapon now down the coaster here into the chute. Locking up the brakes, locking up the tires. Well, I guess you're locking up the brakes, which then locks up the tires. The tire smoke there on the downhill section. Now across the line. Gonna clock in at a 2:02.171. LS Subaru right now just approaching the line with a 1:52.102 into turn number 1 and 2. Coming up to the, what do they call it? Is this NASCAR corner? I told you guys I lost all my notes, and so I'm just winging it for the rest of the season, I've decided. Notes be damned. We're going to the finish. Oh, Born as Ghost nose into the tire wall there. So the unique thing here about qualifying is that they do have the, well, gosh, I actually am now second guessing this because those tire walls may be there either way, with or without Forza race regulations. I'm trying to remember. We don't come out to Virginia International Raceway all that often, so I'm trying to recall if that's just part of the environment or what. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Fear the Fun, fourth quickest qualifying time at the moment. If you're wondering who has number 2, that's going to be Cratrium, and third quickest belongs to Audrex. Can't miss that car. Look at that, neon green. Slow Motion Fire has the 5th quickest. So again, that's Subaru, Cratrium, Audrex, Fear the Fun, Slow Motion Fire. Your top 5, at least after lap number 1. And now here we go, the conclusion of lap 2. Fear the Fun was there momentarily with a 148, only to be replaced by LS Subaru, who also snags a 148, but a 148.852. But Fear the Fun right now, quickest qualifying time, followed by Cratrium and Audrex. That was one blistering time there by Fear the Fun. Go to Cratrium. Oh, this is where I'd like to be right here, where Cratrium is. You got nobody out in front of you. You can see those corners well. You don't have any of the pesky vehicle ghosts in your vision. Through the chicanes, the S's, up the hill. See if Cratrium is able to snag back P2 from Fear the Fun. Otherwise, that's gonna be a great start for Fear the Fun. Able to hold on to that row number 1 position. And for the final time here on lap number 3, down the hill goes Cratrium into the double right-handers. Make the charge down the front straightaway. Across the line. Cratrium right now, that might have been a dirty lap by Cratrium. Possibly. LS Subaru holds on to that pole time of a 148.852. Cratrium does jump up to second. My apologies there. I think it just took a while for the game to recognize, but Cratrium is back up to row number 1. Audrex and Fear the Fun will be on row number 2, followed by Patches, Riley, and Slow Motion Fire. At least tentatively. We've got 4 more drivers getting ready to cross the line, to include Cuda, Modern Weapon, or actually, Cuda, Midnight Rider, and Loading Screen. Let's go see how those qualifying times look out here at VIR. Cratrium with a 149.500. LS Subaru with that pole sitting time, a 148.852. Fear the Fun with a 151.599. Patches Riley at 156.166. Modern Weapon with a dirty to 155.6. Slow Motion Fire to 157.4, a 151.3 by Audrex. Cuda 93 at 154.368, dirtied. Also with a dirty lap, Mega Chin, Born as Ghost, and then you got Midnight Rider at 157.596. All right, let's go back to those standings here. Entering week number 4, take a look at the championship picture as we get ready for race number 7 here. Season 51, LS Subaru at the top, 200 points. 191 there by Cratrim. Not too far back, but Cratrim needs an exceptional performance here tonight to have a chance at picking up and stealing the championship from Subaru here in Season 51. LS Subaru going for a 10th consecutive championship. 10th consecutive. Saying that correctly. Insane. Audrex, 182, 176 there. Born as Ghost and Kuda 93 rounds out the top 5 at 145. A look at the schedule. I already talked about the races that are happening here tonight. Virginia International Raceway, 16 laps, are just on the horizon. And then out to Homestead for the second time this season, this time on the oval for 56 laps. That'll all be followed, and Season 51 concluded with Sebring. 1 week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 43 laps. There will be rain. There will be fog. You don't want to miss that one, and who knows? Maybe the championship will be up for grabs. It's not mathematically impossible, I don't think, yet. Cratrim, again, would need to pick up 2 victories here today and follow that up with a victory out at Sebring, where, being that there's only 1 race in week number 5, that race counts double the points. Yep. All right, welcome back to the broadcast booth. Dustin Moore here for you to bring the Season 51 action to you live, or if you're watching on demand, thank you so much for tuning in. Either way, it's gonna be a fun week. It's gonna be a fun week. Not only do we have the racing that's going on here tonight, I'm a big baseball fan. Baseball starts up on Thursday. First pitch there in the afternoon. Looking forward to that. On Friday will be an X-Adventure game day here on the channel. The first time that's happened in quite a while. So if you're curious about that, I'll have more details for you here in just a bit. And then we'll be back at it on Sunday for another Storytime Sunday. And then next Tuesday again for the Season 51 finale here of the Forza Spec Racing Series. All right, so Motion Fire giving us the signal there in the chat that we're all ready to go. 11 drivers loaded up in the lobby. Again, LS Subaru and Cratrim making up row number 1. Yikes. I'm hearing a bunch of collisions. This is not what we want to hear right now. And now a very weird... Yep, we're going to restart. That's going to be a restart right there is what's going to happen. I don't know if the lobby imploded or what. Yeah, there was a lot of metal crashing in the background there. So either somebody loaded in funny or somebody got on the gas right at the start and forgot that you got to wait. You got to wait till the pole sitter leaves. The pole sitter determines when the race begins, not the countdown. Fear didn't put his handbrake on when revving, says Ghibli. It's possible. It's possible. Oh, you lost somebody in the loading screen. Okay. All right, well, we'll hang tight here for a little bit. How's everybody doing? Let's see. We've got here at the top of the show, we had Slow Motion Fire, Big J Bishop, DWM Frog, Ghibli Giblets has joined us. Ghibli's doing great. Frog is doing well. LS Subaru was in here as well. Obviously now focusing on the racing action. Got his attention on picking up a win after losing one out at Road Atlanta. Very surprising, and has completely removed all hope. If there is one if there is one achievement, one milestone, one unique little accolade that LS Subaru is pursuing right now, it is to win all 9 races in a single season. The lack of a victory out at Road Atlanta a week ago in the final race of the night ruined it. All right. Soul Motion Fire is saying that we are ready to go. Born as Ghost with a Tier 1 sub, 25 months. Thank you so much there, Born as Ghost. Thank you, thank you. All right, they're loaded up on the line. Let's go ahead and jump on into the action here. Looks like we're on board with LS Subaru. Kick the tires, light the fires, folks. Week number 4, Forza Spec Racing Series Season 51 is underway out here at Virginia International Raceway. And LS Subaru, our points leader, is going to lead them into turns 1 and 2 here. Out in front, back behind, we saw Drex and Cratrim going side by side there in that battle for second very early on. And at this point, Drex occupies that position. Let's go back there and ride with Fear the Fun, or at least with the camera on Fear the Fun, as they go into, I think, his NASCAR corner here, or at least maybe at one time was named that. In P4 is Fear the Fun. Patches Riley there in 5th. You see Slow Motion Fire and Modern Weapon 6th and 7th. And now through the complex series of S's, they'll go, making their way to the far opposite corner here of the track from where they started. And then, of course, they'll hit that big tree corner and make their way on back. We got, looks like Patches Riley out there, looking more like a John Deere than a BMW M1. The 1983 BMW M1 is what's being raced here in Season 51. A C-Class car, when stock here in Forza Motorsport 7, has been upgraded to S-Class, S800 here, or is it 900? I always get them mixed up because I go play Forza Horizon 5 and I think it's something different there, and then I come back to Forza Motorsport 7 and it's different here. Through the downhill section, Drex will lead them. There goes Cratrim. Cratrim struggling here at VIR, was only able to regain P2 on that 3rd qualifying lap. And now catching all 4 tires out on the grass puts him in P4 at the moment. LS Subaru, our race leader at the moment. Drex in 2nd, Fear the Fun in 3rd, Cratrim in 4th, Slow Motion Fire in 5th, Modern Weapon in 6th, Patches Riley is 7th, Born as Ghost, Kuda, Megachin make up 8 through 9th, or excuse me, 8 through 10th, and that means we've lost a driver. And now Drex struggling. They're at turn number 3. Or at the exit of turn 3, I should say. Let's go to Cratrim. Challenging Drex for 2nd, or not Drex, Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun has moved up to P2. Right where he had qualified following lap number 2 of qualifying, the qualifying session. So something about VIR here and Fear the Fun that just works. Let's go ahead and take a look back on the X-Adventure replay where Drex had some issues there, came out of 2, now through 3, and on that exit, yep, just ran it a bit wide. And of course, here in S-Class, you know, you try to get your car back on track with all the horsepower of an S-Class car. And yes, I have lost my notes for this vehicle setup, so don't ask me. I don't know what the horsepower is. It's something up there. Very, very difficult to get traction to get back on track with this much power and torque. Across the line and back into turns 1, go Fear the Fun and Cratrim. This seems like this could be a good battle. Now, it all depends. Those of you who might be relatively new or new altogether here to the Forza Spec Racing Series, Fear the Fun, one of the longtime drivers one of the seasoned vets here of FM4, but can be rather unpredictable and inconsistent. So whereas you might find them in P2 like we do see them in right now, that can change significantly here in just a moment's notice. Audrex and Slow Motion Fire in a battle for 4th. And then it starts to free up a little bit with Modern Weapon. Born as Ghost, Kuda and Patches a bit more separated, and Megachin is the caboose right now on the 10-car train. It can go 92. Yeah, it can definitely go 92. Our fastest recorded driver at the moment is Kratrim. There you see in the bottom left, 179 miles per hour, a hair higher than 92. Oh, Fear the Fun. Clipping the curbing. Puts the M1 on the 2 wheels. And now off into the grass. That's just what Kratrim needs to go ahead and move back up. Now, of course, the mission that Kratrim is going to be on at this point is get away from Fear the Fun. Because, yeah, he can be inconsistent at some times. So you don't want to be a part of any sort of lapse of judgment that he may have. And then, secondly, Kratrim, again, to have any chance here at the championship in Season 51, needs 2 victories here tonight. And that means driving behind Fear the Fun like we see now is just going to slow him up in trying to keep pace with Ella Subaru. These things are quick. They're upgraded pretty much every component. If not every component is upgraded to the race specification. 2 turbos have been installed. So plenty of power. Ghibli says, Forza Horizon 5 teased me and said it was updating. I just went into the game after it finished the character through the rally rendezvous on the map. I drove across the map to it, only to find out it's available tomorrow. Yeah, they did the update today, so everything's preloaded. It might be available as early as midnight Eastern. I don't know. I actually don't pay very good attention to when the Forza Horizon 5 updates go live. I don't know if it's like a midnight Eastern type thing or what. But yeah, it should be all updated and ready to go for you. That'll be part of the festivities on Friday. Oh, it says 12 p.m. Eastern tomorrow? Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, something told me that, like, that I don't think it has anything to do with Playground Games, but just the way that the Forza titles get updated, that their content, well, I mean, like you just said, Ghibli, you received the update already, but then I think it's probably Turn 10 who makes the decisions, or at least advises on the decision of when the content should go live. And I think the whole point of that is so that they have some support. They have support available to address any concerns. Now, of course, Playground Games is across the pond. And so 12 noon will actually, 12 p.m. on the East Coast, East Coast will be pretty late in the day for Playground Games, but I'm guessing if it has anything to do with the, if it has anything to do with regarding like Xbox Live, any server issues or whatever, that Turn 10 would be able to take care of those, and that would be 9 a.m. their time tomorrow. So, yeah, that's right. They activate that new content a little late in the day sometimes. Yeah, now come to think of it, that's probably what it is that it allows Turn 10 to be on board and ready to go should any issues arise. We keep the camera here on this battle for second. It is really the most intriguing on the track at the moment. LS Subaru, not only our race leader, but with 200 points, is at the top of the leaderboard here entering week number 4. Audrek, Slow Motion Fire, Modern Weapon, again, the gap between them is quite noticeable, so no real battles happening there. It isn't until you look a little bit further back to 6th position, occupied currently by Patches Riley, followed by Modern in 7th, Born as Ghost in 8th, and Kuda in 9th, that you've got that 4-way battle, and it looks like maybe Born as Ghost off the track there. And now here comes Krachim, going to look to the inside as Fear the Fun leaves the door open there a bit. Krachim not able to take advantage, and Krachim at this point, who knows? I mean, I'd hate to think that Krachim is just waiting for the right time to pass Fear the Fun, because if anybody understands the sense of urgency here to get around Fear and to try to close the gap with LS Subaru, it's definitely Krachim. Second overall on the leaderboard with 191 points. But Fear the Fun is not making it easy. And BIR, at least for me, never a very not a very easy track to overtake at, in my opinion. Locking up the brakes there a little bit as Krachim going to try to take the outside line here through 1 and 2. Going to make it stick there for a bit. Probably had to let off the throttle there. It looks like the understeer started to kick in and was about to send Krachim off into the grass. And that little bit of a let-up allowed Fear the Fun to power on through and move back up to P2. So here on lap number 7 of 16, Krachim has got work cut out for him, and if Fear the Fun can keep this up, this will be one of Fear's most noteworthy performances, at least in a while, that I can recall. Fear the Fun, of course, a lot of you know, struggles with apparently some hardware issues that prevent him from completing some of these races. So far, so good. And now has opened up about a 4-car, oh gosh, even larger than that. Looking to be about a 6-7 car length lead here on Krachim. Has Krachim perhaps incurred some transmission damage? Might that be the issue now? Don't see any. You see the yellowing of the tires there on that graph that was in the bottom right-hand corner. That signifies that the tires are warmed up and are starting to lose a bit of grip, but should not be an issue for our drivers here the remainder of the race. May not be the case for the new Forza Motorsport title. We'll have to see. Oh, running a bit wide there was Fear the Fun, and that might have been the mistake that Krachim was just waiting for. And now with about a 4 or 5 car length lead, Fear the Fun in the rear view mirror this time. Krachim is going to be on his giddy up. Yeah, the Rally Adventure expansion should be fun enough. I'm just really kind of surprised that it's not, I don't know. It's just the world. It almost seems like just an I mean, obviously it is an extension of the Mexico we already have in Forza Horizon 5. Some different topographical features, but I don't know. I'm a little too concerned that it's just a bit more of what we already have. Off-road racing, on-road racing. And sure, previous expansions and other titles introduced things like Legos and Hot Wheels, which is what brought the variety in, and we certainly saw that with the first expansion being a Hot Wheels expansion in Forza Horizon 5, but I don't know. The second one seems a little uninspiring. Or uninspired. Since I'm a Dirt 2 fan, I think I'm going to be jaded to enjoy it at the extent others will. We'll have to see what EA does to the Dirt franchise. I'm sure they're going to announce something, maybe not at this E3, but in another year. EA just took over, what was that, a year? 2 years ago? So maybe they're having to kind of restructure some things, get things where they want it to be, where they want them to be. Oh, by the way, since I did not have the race screen up when Born as Ghost did this, there it is. There's the proper thank you to Born as Ghost for, again, 25 months subscribed here to the channel. That's like more than 2 years. That's math. Our race leader, LS Subaru, riding solo. Not even so much as a back marker in sight here. Gonna have to look about 2 minutes ahead to even see the rear bumper of another vehicle. You do have a back marker between Subaru and Kratrium. First and second, that's going to be Megachin in 10th position. We go back to Fear the Fun. We'll see how Kratrium, Fear the Fun deal with Megachin here on this next lap, lap number 10. A game made for rally driving is hard to beat. In any case, I'm glad I have Game Pass so I can check it out without feeling like I'm purchasing another thing for the game, even though I still pay for a subscription. Yeah, you know what it kind of feels like? It almost feels like the expansion for the original Forza Horizon. Because they did this with the original Forza Horizon, where it was rally-esque features. They had a co-pilot, a co-driver, calling out corners and stuff like that. It very much feels like that, but of course on the scale of what's possible today. There goes Fear the Fun. Yikes. You can't make a corner, just cut on through it. And there goes Megachin. Pirouetting, but not, just kind of sliding out to the tire wall here on the furthest point of the track. All right, let's name and shame him. Fear the Fun. Just flying through the corner there. Let's see, was it a case of carrying too much speed? Looks like maybe a curb could have pushed him out in that direction and just said, ah, what the heck, let's go ahead and go through. Got mostly cloudy skies here at Virginia International Raceway. But it's not nighttime, so there's that. We've had here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, some nighttime races out at VIR. And of course, that can be quite tricky. Oh, I was going to wait. Hold on. I was going to go back to, let's stay with Fear the Fun here. Who was able to keep it on the blacktop this time through. Audrex back there in fourth. Audrex was as far up as second. In fact, started out on row number 2 with Fear the Fun and made their way up to P2 momentarily. It did not last long, but Audrex was in P2 for a short stint. Let's go to Patches Riley in 8th position, following Cuda93, who is in 7th. And behind them, you see Modern Weapon. Here comes Patches. Look at that. Number 12. Bunch of SDRs all over there. And to the inside. Not going to be able to make it there. You just... It's a good approach if you want to try to make a pass, but you've got to have a really solid entry. You got to be really wide coming out of the first part of that corner, and then as you're at the top of that hairpin, really kind of point the front end of the car and try to round off that corner, or I guess go straight through that corner as much as possible to carry a lot of speed. Otherwise, that driver on the outside is carrying a bit more momentum and has the edge. Here comes Fear the Fun, and Patches Riley not only gets sideways coming down the hill, but spins it around. And just like that, drops one position to P9. Modern Weapon moves up to P8 and is now hot on the heels of Cuda93. Keeping an eye on the top 4, but namely P2 through 4. That's Kraytrim, Fear the Fun, and Audrex. Just to see if there's potential for a change in order up there. But right now, oh, Mega Chin! Taking one on the chin there at the tire wall. And so, yes, they have put on Forza race regulations, which has cleaned up the track, and now Cuda93 is going to run wide. Oh, my. And so, just like that, Modern Weapon goes from 9th to 7th in the matter of half a lap. Let's go ahead and take a look at lap number 12 when Patches Riley got sideways, which allowed Modern Weapon to make the first pass of 2 here in that move up to P7. For those of you anticipating Forza Horizon 5's rally adventure, or not even the expansion, but they also have the festival playlist update, the seasonal update, which they are calling, what is it, Midnight Adventure or something like that? And so, on some cars, you can now increase the diameter of the tires. On some vehicles, you have new body kit upgrades. They now are introducing anti-lag, I believe, to some of the vehicles. I think it may not apply to all. But for those of you who are looking forward to the new content here in Forza Horizon 5, what is it that you're looking forward to most? Curious. Gotta say, I'm kind of interested in trying out the F-150 Lightning Which in a video game kind of seems like, what's the point? Like, really the part that matters most, how they drive, is probably going to be fairly similar to, well, I mean, the Lightning may not have the same off-road capability as the Raptor. I'm curious to see how the F-150 Lightning shows up for the first time in a video game. These cars are kind of bouncy and loose. Yeah, well, a very high-speed track VIR is, with just a couple of corners to include that one back there where you do have to slow it down a bit more than others. But otherwise, especially in these S-Class BMW M1s, really get up to speed. As I mentioned before, 179, that remains the top speed of any driver here during this race. 179 miles per hour, so they are flying. They are cruising. LS Subaru about to approach a whole slew of back markers here within the next, probably within the next lap. Has one immediately in front. That's going to be Mega Chen. They're in 10th position. But then Patches, Cuda, and Modern Weapon are just a few seconds away. So I would say maybe this same time, one lap from now, Subaru will have to be navigating those. Deals with Mega Chen with ease. One thing to try to have to get around one car. A whole nother to have to get around potentially two or even three here. Again, with Patches, Cuda, and Modern. Here's what I would say most about the Rally Adventure thing in as the second expansion for Forza Horizon 5. I'm just a little disappointed that they didn't go for making it a Baja. Get some licensing. Turn it into a bona fide, like, hey guys, we're gonna do the Baja 500, Baja 1000, whatever it is. Which I was kind of thinking would be the case. You know, I was like, oh, Forza Horizon 5 is in Mexico. What are the odds that one of the expansions is going to be a Baja endurance style expansion? Not quite. Not quite. Whoa, LS Subaru. These cars are getting very, very much airborne. I mean, not just a little bit. Sometimes you see a little bit of light underneath the tires, and you're like, oh yeah, I could slip a paper through there. No. You could jump an entire, I don't know, what would you put under there? One of them crazy people who do stunts and tricks and all that, and are like, watch me lay under this car that's going to jump over me. Okay. We'll watch. All right, here comes LS Subaru now approaching Cuda and Patches. It looks like maybe Modern... Was that Modern Weapon getting off the track there? No, Modern Weapon's still on pace, so... And here comes... Look at that. Look at that old swaparoo there. And LS Subaru opting to have Cuda 93 go by. Interesting decision there. I don't know if Cuda was thinking, well, I don't want you to lose too much. Oh, that was it. That was the end. That's why. I totally was not looking at the count there. And, of course, some of you may be thinking at home, well, yeah, this is the final lap. This is the 17th and final lap. Well, they're actually only racing to the 16th lap. This last one is a quote-unquote cool-down lap. Allows the organizers to take note of everybody's position. The reason they do that is because they have Forza race regulations turned on. And if they race to the final lap, then the game would impose the penalties that incur when you have Forza race regulations turned on. Well, they don't care about the penalties. What they cared about was getting all the extra rubbish off the track side, so that people made mistakes, they weren't plunging into tire walls every second. But then, yeah, anytime somebody's getting more than 2 wheels off the track, or if the game perceives an advantage gained from corner cutting, then a penalty would be imposed, and then that could change the standings at the end. So they cut it short a lap early so that they can just take note of how everybody finished the race. And that is that. Fear the Fun will finish in P3, unable to hold on to that P2 run, which we saw quite a few laps ago. Cratchum was able to make that pass quite a while back. And now we've got 2 drivers coming across the line. It's going to be Patches and Megachin, I do believe. And that should be it. Oh, Patches and Cuda. Cuda falling back to P9. And Megachin finishing in 10th. All right, that's going to do it for this race. We've got one more for you here tonight. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll talk to a driver or two in our driver spotlight. There's a preview of what's to come here on the channel over the next week. Of course, we've got the Season 51 finale coming at us 1 week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, but so much more here on X Adventure. I'm Dustin Moore. You're watching the Forza Spec Racing Series Season 51, week number 4, live on Twitch. I'll be right back. Welcome back. X Adventure here on Twitch TV. I'm Dustin Moore. Oh, it's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Opening day for baseball is Thursday. Good times. You're traveling in a two-dimensional world. You are in the Twilight Zone. Oh, thank you, Ghibli. With the Twilight Zone. I am Dustin Moore, and we are ready for our final race of the evening, our 8th race of the season. And the final race before we head into tomorrow's, or not tomorrow's, but next Tuesday's finale, season 51 finale. And at this point, mathematically, I think LS Subaru can celebrate the fact we'll be a 10-time champion here of the Forza Spec Racing Series. That's just crazy. Let's go ahead and turn on over to the driver's spotlight, see if anybody wants to have a word. Slow Motion Fire joins us. 5th place finish there out at VIR. Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, that was my strategy going into that, was just to run as clean of a race as possible, and it ended up paying off with a pretty good finish there. I wasn't at all fast, but I managed to keep it on the track.
Yeah, that's one of those tracks where I feel like consistency is of utmost importance. You could try to go as fast as you want, but just one off can knock several seconds off your total race time and therefore put you a bit further behind in the finishing order than you would like. You had Oddrex out in front of you, which I don't think you had a chance to catch up there. But for a bit, I do believe that you were battling with Born as Ghost and Modern Weapon, and perhaps even Patches in the mix.
A little bit right at the beginning, and then I was kind of in no man's land for about 90% of that race. It
Hmm.
wasn't until the last couple laps that Bourne ran me down, and then I was on the defensive, parking it on the apex, just trying to make it hard for him. Had
Yeah.
that race gone one more lap, I don't know if I could have held on to fifth.
Hmm. Wow. Okay. So thankfully that 16th lap was the final lap, and that there wasn't a 17th there for Slow Motion Fire in the driver's spotlight. You guys have had pretty fast tracks here throughout the season. Road America, Watkins Glen, maybe not the fastest of the bunch. Then you were out at Homestead, the road circuit, definitely one of the slower tracks. Daytona, the Speedway Tri-Oval. Circuit de Spa, very fast track there. Road Atlanta, somewhere in between, and then VIR here. With the S-Class M1, what has been your favorite? Has it been these high-speed courses like VIR, or do you prefer the more technical, maybe more corner corner heavy tracks as it relates to this M1?
The way we have this car built, I like it at some of the tracks where you got more room to breathe, like Road America. It seems kind of for that where it's not so much of a handling track. You've got handling sections, but then you get that straightaway to kind of relax, regroup, and then head into the next corner and hope the car is going to stick.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about room to breathe. It could get a little bit claustrophobic here. Homestead on the oval, 56 laps, without a doubt means that traffic is going to be an issue on multiple occasions for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're the first driver in the field or if you're at the very back. You're going to have to be dealing with traffic quite a bit. Um, any notes, anything to share with our viewers with what we might expect here? Are we going to see some tire issues? I don't think fuel's ever been a problem, and I'm guessing won't be the case here. But might tires be an issue as you keep trying to shove the M1 into these banked corners here at Homestead?
They might be, but I think they're going to go the whole race. I didn't do a full race of testing, so I'm kind of here with you. We'll find out as we go. But I expect Subaru and Fear to be quick around here from what I saw in practice before the race.
Okay. Very good. Slow Motion Fire here, 6th overall on the leaderboard, just behind Kuda, just 1 point behind Kuda. And after that race there at VIR bodes well for you moving up a spot on the overall leaderboard. Of course, we always have to wait that one out and see how the drop week rule plays in. But what's your goal here for Homestead? What's your finishing position you'd like to hit?
I'd like to shoot for another fifth again. I think that would be pretty good. I think that would keep my chances with Kuda alive.
Yeah.
But we'll see. The ovals, you never know.
That's true. The ovals always seem to be the kink in the chain here for a lot of our drivers. Even LS Subaru, we've been out to ovals before and hasn't finished first in a few of those events. So these tracks have a tendency of throwing people for a loop. We'll see how it goes. All right. Well, before we head out to the race itself, good luck in the qualifying there, Slow Motion, and we'll be on the lookout for you to see if you get that P5.
All right. Thank you, Dustin.
All right. There's Slow Motion Fire, and then real quick, we'll go ahead and bring in LS Subaru getting a victory. And like I told the viewers, I think that mathematically cements your championship here in season 51. But now you've got an oval coming up. I'm guessing you want to try to rack up as many points as you can here in this final week before the finale. What are your thoughts on the oval and this S800 M1?
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting race. This oval, because it's not like Daytona where you're full throttle for 100% of it. There is some there's a little bit of driver skill, a little bit more driver skill that goes into it, where you kind of have to really choose where to lift off the throttle to really maximize that average speed around this track.
Talking about LS Subaru here in the driver's spotlight at oval tracks, we oftentimes see drivers take a varying, styles into the corners. They take different lines. Sometimes drivers love hugging the apex, the lower line. Some kind of stay somewhere in between, and then others sometimes like to flirt with the wall there, and obviously at times do make contact with the wall. But where will we find LS Subaru for the majority of this race?
I'll be trying to take just pretty much the ideal racing line, just out in out. Really just trying to carry as much speed around this circuit, because can't be full throttle for the whole lap.
Yep.
So you really got to choose where to lift off and put the throttle back on.
And as I mentioned before we hopped into the driver's spotlight here with the Slow Motion Fire, I said it could. Well, actually, it was with the Slow Motion Fire when you mentioned some of those other tracks like VIR offer an opportunity to breathe. Here could get quite tricky dealing with some back markers. So obviously there's your ideal line, but then there's also the patience and carefulness of an overtake on the back markers.
Exactly, yeah, pretty much.
He's like, you said it already, Dustin. I don't have to say anything.
Yep. It's not much more I can add to that.
All right. Fair enough. Well, hey, I won't hold you up any longer. Best of luck to you in the qualifying session.
Thank you.
And the qualifying should go fast indeed. It's 56 laps of racing, and that's good indication that these cars are going to get around the circuit really, really fast, and that's why they have to tack on lap after lap. So qualifying here, if you blink, you might miss it. You might just miss it. UDP Ruby, by the way, hello to you. I'm sorry I saw it just as we were getting ready to talk with Slow Motion Fire, but welcome back to the channel. Thank you for finding your way back over here. I hope that's because maybe I was in your followed channel section, and for anybody else who's watching and enjoying the content, if you'd like to see more here on X Adventure, click that follow button. It's really the very most I ask of you. I like doing this as a hobby. I'm not trying to be a pro streamer or anything like that, so if you enjoy it, just show a little love. Click that follow button, and hopefully that makes it easier for you to find the channel moving forward. Ghibli Giblet says, can you give Fear a pumpkin pie? That's his favorite. I don't think so. I can't even. I'd have to go buy one. I can't make a pie. I could barely make a cake. All right, they are out on the track here for qualifying, so let's go ahead and join them. Fear the Fun is going to try to pick up another top 3 here and move up the standings a bit after a very rough beginning of the season with a multitude of disconnects. Slow Motion Fire, however, will be the first one around the track and across the line. Hot dog. "38 seconds. That's all it took on the standing start lap. It'll be notably higher, or quicker, I should say, or lower. It'll be quicker and lower than that first standing start lap. And here comes Slow Motion Fire. Got a nice Yeah, kind of a little bit of a shared spot there, mid to high line. And speaking of a line, crosses the line, 32.355. Let's go to LS Subaru. Absolutely anonymous. I'm guessing you're talking about the racing series. Oh gosh, I forgot. My Stream Deck thing doesn't want to send messages anymore. I have to do it manually. There you go. Reddit.com/r/FM4. They race on Tuesdays. They've got one more race remaining in the season. That'll be next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Each night takes not more than 2 hours. Weeks 1 through 4 are 2 races, and then the 5th week, the 9th race of the season, is an endurance event of sorts. Season 51, they'll be out at Sebring in the rain and the fog. And now across the line is LS Subaru for the final qualifying time. Unable to do any better than the second lap there is Subaru, 31.8. Crate Trim will be on row number 1. Fear the Fun and Born as Ghost look to have row number 2, unless anything changes here with our drivers getting ready to come across, which very well could be the case. So let me not get out in front of things too quickly here. There goes Midnight Rider. Good to see Midnight Rider out on the track. Apparently unable to participate there in race number 7 out at VIR, but now here for Homestead. Yeah, definitely encourage you to check it out, Anonymous. A long-standing, probably one of the longer-running leagues in Forza Motorsport, dating all the way back to the Forza Motorsport 4 years. As a matter of fact, this year, 2023, is FM4's 10th year running. 10 years! You were a child back then. Weren't we all? We were all 10 years younger. All right. Eventually here, we'll get out of the track, or out of the lobby. Well, we're still in the lobby. We'll get off the track and into the lobby to take a look at these qualifying times. 32.3 there for Soul Motion Fire. As I take a quick skim, I think it's going to put Slow maybe a bit further back than he would be hoping for. Maybe row 4 or 5. Crate Trim going to be on row number 1 with that 31.9. Midnight Rider with a 34.8, 33.7 there for Mega Chin. Fear the Fun with a 32.2. Audrex, 32.289. Slightly slower than Fear the Fun there. 32.275 there for Kuda 93. Born as Ghost at 32.223. LS Subaru with the pole sitting time of a 31.8. 32.5 for Modern Weapon and a 35.9 for Patches Riley. Everybody able to snag a clean qualifying time, which is to be expected here at the Oval. But you just never know. You just never know when somebody might be struggling and not get that clean qualifying time. It doesn't matter what your driving skill is, your driving level, how fast or how slow or how somewhere in between you are. If you enjoy racing in Forza Motorsport with the community that is trusted, that has been doing this for years upon years upon years, and is very welcoming, inviting, accommodating, and by accommodating, I mean like if you don't know much about tuning, they've got drivers to help you out with tuning. They're happy to always lend a hand with that. If you're not big on livery designing, because it's highly encouraged. You don't have to have a livery. You do have to have number boards, but you don't have to have a full livery. However, if you'd like to look good out on the track, then they've got people who are happy to help you out with a livery as well. So definitely encourage you to participate. If you're sitting on the fence and you're like, yeah, well, maybe I will, maybe I won't, I definitely encourage you to lean toward the side that says, maybe I will, surely I will, yes I will. Just do it. Try it out. If you decide that it's not for you, then you can always leave with no hard feelings, and of course you'll always be welcome back. But as I continue to say here in the lead up to the new Forza Motorsport title, get yourself kind of initiated and familiarized with the crew, build up your rapport, because when it does come to the new Forza Motorsport title, and we do have an influx of people who are interested in participating, those spots are going to be a little bit harder to find. They'll probably have to start a reserve list. When we started broadcasting, when I started commentating these races back in the earlier days of Forza Motorsport 7, they were putting people on a reserve list. They were filling up the lobby. So that's an indication that I think the same will happen here in a few months' time whenever we do get that new title. All right. I know the pace and skill of Subaru. Fast, yeah? 9-time champion here in the Forza Spec Racing Series and is looking to tie Cratrium with the most championships of any one driver, which would be 10. All right, drivers are readied up. Slow Motion Fire, the organizer, the only one yet to, looks like selecting a vehicle. Either Slow Motion Fire might be doing some tweaks or perhaps has another vehicle ready to go and just has to jump into it. Either way, we should be up and running here shortly. Dang, that's like a QB going after Tom Brady. You didn't know that Forza has a series on Reddit? Well, I mean, it's a community league. It's not an official. It's not an official league. It's run by the community, raced by the community, and loved by the community. Not a beard. Although beard and beer are pretty synonymous, right? But it's a beer league, meaning that they don't take it all that seriously. All right, Soul Motion Fire signaling there in the chat that we are underway. You're mostly present on Discords. They actually do have a Discord, but where they first established themselves back in Forza Motorsport 4 before there was even a Discord was on Reddit. And so they've just continued that along. So their main presence is on Reddit with regards to like information about the league and all that stuff. But then the communications that they have with everybody is over on Discord. A link you can find there in their Reddit, their subreddit. All right, here we go. Kick the tires, light the fires. LS Subaru leading the charge down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Here at Homestead, it is week number 4, coming to a close here at Homestead before the finale of Season 51. LS Subaru now back out on the back straightaway after qualifying. And Fear the Fun, Cratrium in 3rd, Kuda in 4th, Audrex in 5th. That's your top 5 then. We've got Born as Ghost, Slow Motion Fire, Modern Weapon, then Midnight Rider, Patches Riley, and Mega Chen. 11 drivers of the 11 who started out on the track. Let's go back to Modern Weapon here. 8th position as they cross the line from the beginning of lap number 2 into turn number 1. And here comes the Initech M1 of Modern Weapon. Kind of running solo right now with a pack of 4 out ahead. Let's go up to Born as Ghost in 6th position. Slow Motion Fire in 7th. Through turn 3, and there goes, it's going to be Modern Weapon. Slides it out and up into the wall. Probably did not incur any damage and will be able to continue on, but that puts Modern Weapon a little bit further in the pack than would be desired at this point. Modern Weapon now running in 10th position, only in front of Mega Chen. And now here comes Slow Motion Fire, looking to the inside of Born as Ghost as they approach turn number 3. And nope, we've got the loading screen. We're losing a driver. Ooh, gosh, Born as Ghost looks like picked up some lobby lag or something. And actually, I don't think we lost a driver, but maybe somebody's got bad ping or something here. Looks like everything's back to relative level of normalcy. We've got Audrex. Oh, Audrex is off the track and into pit lane in reverse. The AI takes over, flips him around. And Audrex now is going to be a lap down very early on. I did not catch what happened. Maybe you all saw it, but something has Audrex going into pit lane. Yeah, that was Born as Ghost popping a wheelie there. That, like I said, it was, I think, maybe some lobby lag, and hopefully for Born as Ghost, maybe that was just visually on our side, but not actually a thing. Otherwise, that'd be very difficult to deal with there in the middle of turn number 4. Kratrium there in second position with LS Subaru still out in front. Audrex now returning to the track is going to be 2 laps down now at this point. We've got another driver into pit lane. It's going to be Megachin in 10th position. Let's go to Fear the Fun in 6th. Fear the Fun on the high side. Slow motion fire on the low line. And there goes Fear the Fun. Yeah, throwing some sparks. It's not going to work. Gosh, who was the driver in NASCAR that actually rode the wall to a, what was it, like a top 3 finish or something like that? Not going to work here in Forza Motorsport 7. Those walls are sticky. They slow you down. Turn 10 was all in front of that. They knew what would happen if somebody tried those shenanigans out, so they got sticky walls in play. Here comes Fear the Fun approaching Audrex now, who's trying to reclaim his laps. 2 laps down at the moment. Midnight Rider 1 lap down. Megachin also 2 laps back. Fear the Fun. Now this is interesting for Fear the Fun because Audrex is quick. And so this poses a challenge to Fear the Fun, and now patches Riley back there in 7th. Let's go to Born as Ghost in 4th. No, not Jeff Gordon. No, this was what was that, last season? Because now the new season has started. It must have been last NASCAR season. Cross the line for the beginning of lap number 9 here for Born as Ghost. Kuda 93 up there in 3rd. Kuda not having a great finish. Out at VIR. Trying to have a little bit of redemption here. Again, trying to stave off Slow Motion Fire, who entering week number 4 was just 1 point back from Kuda on the overall leaderboard. Subaru right now out in front and with quite a bit of clean air. Closest driver would be Kratrium in 2nd. With, it's going to be Megachin then, or Midnight Rider would be the next back marker. But I don't see that happening for another lap and a half or 2. Go to Slow Motion Fire and right on board. Get a little wobbly there is Slow Motion Fire on the exit of turn number 4. Able to keep the car true. And now starting to close in on Fear the Fun as Audrex gets back around. So Fear the Fun had, for a little bit there, gotten in front of Audrex. But now Audrex, well, they're going to go side by side here. Turn 3 and then 4. LS Subaru remains out in front, followed by Kratrium. Kuda in 3rd. I guess I could put the map back up. Borna's Ghost in 4th, and Fear the Fun in 5th. Fear the turn. Fear, don't fear the turn. And Fear the Fun now back out in front of Audrex. Not what Audrex wants to see. Going to make it very difficult for Audrex to reclaim those laps. Total of 2 of them. Back out onto the front straightaway. Single file formation. Yeah, one sounding good out here on the oval, yeah? Vehicle is stock C-Class. Has been upgraded with a lot of race components up to S800. And has been the featured car here in Season 51. They'll wipe the slate clean and have a new car to race Season 52. So either join me for that fun or get out on the track yourself. I'm Dustin Moore. Thanks for tuning in to X-Venture here on Twitch TV on a Tuesday because, like, what else is there to do, right? Hope you're having a good week so far. The final week of March 2023. We're making history, folks. Another month down. There comes Slow Motion Fire now trying to get around Audrex. So as to catch back up with Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun just has taken off now at this point. Let's go to Borna's Ghost. Actually, let's go to Fear the Fun in 5th, trying to get around Borna's Ghost for 4. And a little bit of contact there. Fear the Fun on the back bumper. Going to harass Borna's Ghost a little bit. Here they come out on the front straightaway. In front of the grandstands. Look at all them people. Get on your feet, people. That's okay. We've got quite a bit of racing to go. They're chilling. Out onto the back stretch. Side by side they come, and looks like it's going to be Fear the Fun to the low line. Going to roll up onto that left rear quarter panel of Borna's Ghost. No contact made, and here they go side by side with Fear the Fun hopping out in front of Borna's Ghost. Picks up P4. The second pass for Fear in about 3 laps time. Fear is on one here tonight. Finished 3rd out at VIR, and now going to be searching for another podium finish out at Homestead in the Oval. Let's go to Patches in 7th, who has Slow Motion Fire in his sights. In 6th, and then Audrex there just in the mix. Keeping it interesting for our lead lap traffic. Let's go take a look at that pass there by Fear the Fun. A lap ago around Borna's Ghost inside here at turn number 3. And able to get a nose out and just close the door there on Borna's Ghost. Got up into the mid to high line, and that's where Borna's Ghost was running, and that's all it took for Fear the Fun, at least for the moment. Move from 5th to 4th. Right on board with Patches. Here comes Patches to the low line. Going to try to make a pass around 2 drivers. I say 2 because Audrex, I guess, technically would not count. I mean, physically he's out there on the track, but not on the same lap here. So having gotten around slow motion fire, Patches Riley now rolls up onto the rear bumper here of Born as Ghost, trying to move up into the top 5. Second time this season our drivers have been out on an oval, the first one being the Daytona Tri-Oval 2 weeks ago. But as we heard, and as was told by Slow Motion Fire and LS Subaru during the driver spotlight segment, this is a whole different beast. We heard there as we rode on board with Patches, the very discernible sound of letting off the accelerator. Maybe not getting onto the brake, but certainly letting the car kind of coast a little bit to maintain traction. Oh, and Patches Riley, maybe a little bit of contact there with, gosh, who is that on the low side? That's Slow Motion Fire. Maybe a little bit of contact there, sending Patches up into the wall, but fortunately for Patches, was but a glancing blow. And so there should not be any damage whatsoever. The Patches lime green M1. And is able to stay out in front of Slow Motion Fire. That has put him off the pace of Born as Ghost here a bit. Quite the gaggle coming out of turn number 4. You got some lead lap traffic, back markers. LS Subaru in first, Craytrim still in second. Fear the Fun after making that pass about 5-6 laps ago around Born as Ghost is in third. Or excuse me, around Cuda 93 rather. Cuda 93 still in fourth. Born as Ghost in fifth. Patches in sixth. Slow Motion Fire is seventh. Modern Weapon, Audrex, and Midnight Rider make up 8 through 9th, or excuse me, 8 through 10th with Mega Chin in 11th. Down that back straightaway, Cuda lines up with Audrex, who is 2 laps back after having some incident there about 2 or 3 laps in. Very unfortunate there for Audrex. It's Anonymous. Thank you so much for the follow. And look forward to seeing you out there on the track here sometime soon. If you want to drop your gamer tag, that way I can make that connection of like who you are in the chat and who you are on the track, unless you're trying to remain like super anonymous. Then I can only infer at that point if we have a new name out there. I can only infer. Being French is different. Oh, yeah, okay, so you're on the other side of the pond, kind of very late night for you. And they go across the line. Cuda in fourth position with Audrex to deal with there. Arzium popping. Thank you so much for the follow as well. $3:23 a.m. Woo! Night owl. Here comes Patches Riley. Has caught back up to Born as Ghost. Going to get that bump draft going as they enter turn number 1. And look at this, Patches gonna just kind of peer on the outside here a bit. And now back out onto the rear straightaway along the palm trees. And the beautiful catch fence. Into turn number 4. They've got Slow Motion Fire back there in 7th. Modern Weapon is on the opposite side of the track in 8th, unfortunately. Would have been great to see a 4-way battle here for 5th. Cuda 93 in 4th is actually getting slowed up a bit, it seems. And Patches Riley was out in front and then dropped back there. Born as Ghost able to sneak on past once again. FCT Racing TV with the follow. It's y'all coming out the Twitch woodworks here with the follows tonight. Helping to get a little bit closer to that 3,000 follower goal. Patches Riley going to slide out the M1, and there goes into the cones and into the wall. And unfortunately for Patches Riley, yet another mistake, or, well, perhaps had a little bit of help there. Gets spun around coming out of turn number 2. And now finds themselves in P7 and actually stopped on the front straightaway. What's happening here? Oh, no. Oh, no. You hate to see it. Patches Riley, I think maybe required a pit stop and missed it. And is now just kind of lodged up on the tire barrier. And, oh, I see there in the background, as I switched cameras, was able to get a little bit of help from the AI and is now into pit lane. But for Patches, who was in the thick of it here in this battle for 4th, 5th, now, just now emerging from pit lane. LS Subaru is our race leader. Cratrim in second. Oh, we've got a battle for first, folks. Let's go to it. Here comes Cratrim on the low line. LS Subaru, not sure what happened. Maybe got tangled up with one of the back markers. But here we go. Subaru in first, Cratrim in second. Although the championship is pretty much out of reach here for Cratrim, following LS Subaru's victory out at BIR earlier this evening. These drivers are going for whatever bragging rights they can get. And we know these oval tracks can change things really quick. And while Subaru didn't have a truly dominating lead, had a sizable lead, but somehow Cratrim able to quickly close that gap. And now is within striking distance. So as I look at the tire situation here of Cratrim, we see that front right tire where all that weight is well, the majority of the weight of the car, or I shouldn't say even a majority, but a great amount of the weight of the BMW M1 pushing down on that front right suspension, and as a result onto the tire, pushing it into the racing surface, generating a lot more heat, and in turn degrading that tire that much more. So I believe LS Subaru went into pit lane, which has allowed Cratrim to close the gap. However, Cratrim's degrading tire situation there on the front right is gonna play to LS Subaru's favor. So let's see if Cratrim here decides to go into pit lane for a fresh set of tires. Well, he doesn't do it here at the beginning of lap number 40 of 56. We're going to keep the camera here for at least another lap or two. As we can see, Cratrim is losing ground to Subaru. And, of course, I can quickly confirm this just by taking a look here. Well, never mind. Disregard. Subaru did not go into pit lane. Is demonstrating the same amount of tire degradation as Cratrim. So there genuinely was something that held up LS Subaru, or, whoa, that was very close. I don't know if you guys saw that, but we have a driver almost parked there on the exit of turn 2. That's a very, very precarious position. That's Patches Riley, who's having all kinds of issues. Oh, that's just a bad spot. That is a very, very bad spot for Patches. Let's see if Patches is able to get by here. Yes. Whew. Fortunately, that could have been very, very bad for any of our lead lap traffic there. Patches' rough day just continues here, and It hasn't even been a rough day. Just a rough couple of laps. Let's go to slow motion fire in 6th. Got Borna's Ghost in 5th. And the back marker of, is that Midnight Rider there? Mega Chen. Patches Riley once again down on the pit lane entry for at least the second time here tonight. All right, let's go back to Cratrim, who still is keeping tabs of Subaru, and it's because Subaru has the same tire wear. Subaru was not at all benefiting from fresh tires. Something allowed Cratrim to move on up, and here we go. A battle for first has ensued with a little more than 10 laps remaining in this 8th race, our final race of the evening, and the penultimate race before the finale 1 week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, taking place out at Sebring. The pace car. Not here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. They do ask that drivers mind their P's and Q's out on the track so as not to create any avoidable incidents. But of course, that just means that if you are unfortunately caught up in one of those incidents, then can ruin your race really quick. Case in point, Odge Rex, who continues to be 2 laps down at the moment. And who do we have? Is that Patch? No, that's Modern Weapon on the infield at the entry of pit lane, but not entering pit lane. And now there he goes. Modern Weapon now into pit lane. Let's go ahead and ride on board here with Cratrim, who's chasing LS Subaru for the lead. Oh my, we've got cones now entering the track there. As you saw coming off of turn number 4, Cratrim, there was a cone punted over there. Able to avoid that. You do want to avoid the cones. They won't drastically change your angle of attack, but they can knock off a mile per hour or two. When those cones come out on the track, chat, you got to throw the cap of cones out there. That emote is born for that moment. Here comes LS Subaru Cratrim around the back markers here out of turn number 1. Yeah, they'll hit one of the sprites up in the grandstand, yeah. We're going to keep the camera here. We've got what's going to be 6 laps remaining, this time by the flag stand. The 57th lap does not count. And here we go, the beginning of lap number 51. These laps taking about 32 seconds or so. Moving pretty quickly here as we saw during qualifying. So not long before we crown our winner of the race here tonight out at Homestead after Subaru getting one out at VIR. We'll see if he goes back-to-back here in week number 4. Wait, that's a Seeksun livery. on Craytrim's car. That's an alien isolation thing, isn't it? Beginning of lap 53. Is it not? I've heard that name, but I just don't know. I'm trying to remember where I'm remembering it from. Siegson. All right, here we go. Beginning of lap 54. We're going to keep the camera right here. LS Subaru right now, at this moment, is your race leader, followed by Craytrim in second. Really racing for bragging rights here as LS Subaru has mathematically locked in a 10th championship here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. Worth noting here, these two drivers, Subaru and Craytrim, at the end of Season 51 will share 10 championships apiece of the 51 seasons that have been run. These two have 20 of them. 20 championships of the 51. Here the Fun in third, uncontested right now. Kuda 93 in fourth, being challenged by Born as Ghost. We'll try to get to that battle if we can. Then it's Slow Motion Fire, Audrex 6th and 7th. Audrex a couple of laps back. Modern Weapon in 8th, Midnight Rider in 9th, Mega Chin in 10th, Patches Riley in 11th. Next time by the flag stand, LS Subaru and Craytrim will get the white flag. LS Subaru up into the wall a little. Actually, that's Craytrim up into the wall a little bit and now has dropped back significantly here from LS Subaru. My, oh my, we are not going to have a battle for P1 on this 56th and final lap. LS Subaru is going to go back-to-back here and just further cement that Season 51 championship. And so for the 7th time here in Season 51, LS Subaru, P1, Craytrim in second, Fear the Fun now getting ready to come around turn 3 and 4 for third. Let's go to Slow Motion Fire. Kuda in fifth, Born as Ghost in fourth. And I think they've let off the throttle, maybe? They sound like they've let off the throttle, but I'm pretty sure they would be racing to the finish here. Modern Weapon marks the first of the lap traffic. Slow Motion Fire, the last of the lead lap cars. Half the field off of the lead lap. All right. There you go, folks. That's how that one wraps up. Of course, we've got one more race to go here in the season. Oh, no. We've got... When race cars act naughty. Oh, my. Hide the kiddos. This is some disturbing stuff. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to some of our drivers here in the Drivers Spotlight, get their thoughts on their Week 4 performance. I'll preview what's going on here on X Adventure in the coming days. And all of this to the tease that you see there on the screen to be the final week of Season 51 here, 1 week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. You're watching Season 51, Forza Spec Racing Series. I'm Dustin Moore, X Adventure here on Twitch. I'll be right back. And thanks to all the people there in the chat, putting the emotes there, making them dance across the screen. Unfortunately, Ghibli, your octopus got shredded. The tentacles went every which way, and the head floated around by itself. It happens. I'm Dustin Moore. Thank you very much for those of you who stayed put and watched the ads. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, every little bit of the proceeds that do come to me after Twitch takes their cut, I completely, absolutely reinvest into things for the stream, hardware, music, licenses, and all that. So those of you following, which again is the very most I really ask of you, is to click that follow button. Watching those ads helps me out in that way, and then it also allows those who join us a little bit later on the stream to avoid those pre-roll ads. They don't see the pre-rolls, they get right into the action. So thank you so much. And then, of course, to the subs, to include Born as Ghost, who extended their sub to 25 months here today. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. The love for the stream. Oh my gosh, what happened to me? I got blasted by the sun. Oh jeez, my camera does not like it when the sun. What it is the sun has set now and it is darker in here, and so now it's trying to do some lighting adjustments in real time, which aren't flattering. Let's try that one. I think it's that setting that's doing it. Anywho, we have now completed 8 of 9 races here in Season 51. Just one race remains to see where everybody will finish on the leaderboard. LS Subaru undoubtedly going to be atop of that here once again for the 10th time here of his participation. I think that's 10 championships of 11 seasons in which LS Subaru has competed. So pretty significant. All right, let's go to the driver spotlight. Fear the fun. Speaking of driver who's done extraordinarily well, of course, Subaru's is more long-term, but picking up 3 P3 finishes, or 3. We only raced twice here tonight. Picking up 2 P3 finishes here in week number 4. Fear the fun. Good job.
I appreciate it. It's my 3rd podium in a row.
3rd podium in a row, yes, because if we look back to Road Atlanta as a result of LS Subaru's mistake, you were able to move up to P3. So yeah, not only
P2.
P2, that's right, because I had weird scribble on here because I didn't realize what had happened to Subaru, but you finished behind Cratrim out there at Road Atlanta. So a P2, 2 P3s, AMD held up for you. You got to be pretty proud about that.
I'm excited, you know. When do I ever get 2 podiums or 3 podiums in a row? Almost never, you know. So I'll take it. It's a win in my book.
Yeah, you most certainly will. Only half the field finishing on the lead lap out at Homestead Oval. So how were you able to avoid any incidents out there?
I didn't avoid any incidents. My car was totaled on the second to last
Your
lap.
car wasn't totaled.
No, I swear to God, I had 100% aero damage on all 3, on the front and both left and right sides, because me and
Really?
Audrix got into it on the second to last lap, and I ran up into the wall.
And what? Because of the short nature of the track and all the power in the M1, the aero damage was just kind of irrelevant, or what?
I was doing I think I got to 160, and I had a 7-second lap, and I didn't crash and come to a stop. Slowed down to 80 mile an hour, because it was me and Audrix, and we got Forza glued and turned straight up into the turn 4.
Yeah.
So
well, it looked exciting. You had a battle there with Born as Ghost for a bit, I think it was. So P3 was no small feat. You had to work your way up there, because where did you start?
P4?
You started in row number 2, but then I think you dropped back maybe a spot or 2 and then had to work
I
back
grabbed the wall. I grabbed the wall early, and then I made my way up in the first few laps, and then Audrix on lap 1 went up into the wall, which gave me P3. Because Audrix was faster than me almost the entire race. It just kept getting little bobbles and whatnot, and I would get around him.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He was already down a lap.
Yep.
So
Yeah, unfortunately for Audrex, having a few incidents that resulted in pit stops, which just took him out of the race pretty early, fell back 2 laps off the lead lap. So very challenging there. All right, so can you carry this momentum into Sebring? Is Sebring a favorable track for your hardware? And if so, can you get another top 3 here for the 4th time in a row?
Sebring, I don't know. Sometimes I crash, sometimes I don't. I don't know. It's very weird, but it's my track choice, and it's like my home track because it's the closest one I'm nearest to in real life. That's in Forza, anyways. Like if you want to consider like all tracks, St. Petersburg GP is like a 20-minute drive away, but it's my home track. I love Sebring. It's one of the few good tracks in the world, so I'm very excited for it. I'm happy for it. I get my rain, gets the fog, gets some clearing, and it's the enduro, so it's going to be 90 minutes of all of that stuff.
Yeah, so you mentioned what was going to be my next comment is that not only did you pick the track Sebring, but you decided to throw in a dash of rain and fog. So how do you expect the M1 to respond to that?
Terribly. It's going to be awful, but that's the whole point of it, right? You don't want a car that's easy to drive. You don't want it to be easy, like easy. I mean, like some cars you do, but this car you want to make a little tricky. You don't want to give everybody like the best chance possible. I mean, what if Subaru's like absolutely terrible in the rain, and then I get a first place? You know what I'm saying?
Well, we got to see if Subaru is even going to participate. I'll ask Subaru that question. Sometimes he, as you know, he jumps out of the final race if he's already got it locked down. So
That's true.
that's true. Yeah.
He might if he does. You know, this poor sportsmanship, whatever.
So if let's run this scenario then that if LS Subaru opts out of the finale, Cratrim is the only other driver to have finished before you. Well, not the only driver. Well, yeah, actually, the only driver to finish before you that isn't named Subaru here in the last 3 races. So, what would it take for you to keep pace and even challenge Cratrim for P1?
Well, first off, I'm good at Sebring.
Yeah.
I'm very good at it. I tune a lot of my cars there. I know where I can be fast and whatnot. It's like if there's a track that I know that I'm comfortable at and I can hit my marks at, it's definitely Sebring. On the other hand, CT is CT, and there's a reason why we consider him a robot because he's very consistent and he's very fast.
Yeah.
So he could very well just drive away from me, and I'll be like, "Oh, what happened?" But I don't think that's gonna be what happened. Hopefully, anyways. Hopefully, you know, what skill I do have shows up at Sebring, and I make CT look like an obsolete robot. You know.
An obsolete robot. Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, all this said, and it sounds like you've got all the encouragement, all the excitement that you could possibly need to head into the finale here for this one and try to pick up the best finish for you here in season 51 and quite possibly for some time. Although you did have a win last season, right?
I did.
Yeah, you did.
It was it? No, it wasn't the Siraga. It was the NSX.
Yeah.
And it was at what is that?
Laguna Seca?
Yep.
Yeah. That's right.
It's
So,
like cheating though, because that was the best car of the season, and I waited until all the good guys.
oh,
used
so
their
now
best
you
car of
say
the
it was
season.
cheating. Before it was strategy, but now it's seen as cheating, huh?
No, it was strategy. It was strategy. It was waiting for all the fast guys not to use it, and for me to use it.
Well,
I wouldn't have won that race any other way. I mean, Joe came second. Remember?
Well, yeah. Well, speaking of strategy, then, like I said, you have all this motivation and encouragement to go in and do as good as you can out at Sebring. So, do you put in the extra time to plan and work out not only your race strategy in dealing with the precipitation, but then also pit strategy, or do you just go for it?
I don't know if there's going to be pit strategy because it might only just be a one-stop race. But it might also be a two-stop race because this car does run through tires and gas really quickly. We were at 20% fuel when it ended, and I know Kudo was running out of tire at the end of the Homesteads, and that's only 30 minutes. But that's Homestead, where it's constant wide open throttle, and it's constant like you're using a lot of tire because you're constantly turning and you're turning fast.
Yeah.
Like even though it's an oval, you're scrubbing that tire constantly with the G-forces, so you run through tires quicker than you would on a road course. But again, Like, it's just like if you can get the rear wheels to stick, which is probably going to be like the big thing there, because you're not going to run a lot of tire or get rid of a lot of tire in the rain. But if you spin your tires, you will wear more. So it might be smarter to run either more gearing or more aero to keep you from spinning the tires as much.
Yeah. Well, you say that the tire situation may only necessitate one stop, but as a reminder to all of our viewers here in Forza Motorsport 7, in races that include precipitation, the game by default puts everybody on rain tires, which, as we know, can degrade much quicker, even quicker than the race tires. So while what we've seen thus far may suggest that there's only one stop needed, it very well could end up being one of those two-stop races.
Absolutely. It could be a 3-stop race, too.
Could be. Could be. All right, Fear. Well, hey, congratulations. Not just 2 podium finishes here tonight, but 3 in total over the last 3 races. Well done. And with as excitement as you exude right now about Sebring and the finale, look forward to seeing you in a week's time.
I look forward to seeing you, too, Dustin. Thanks for another... It's not the end of the season, but I want to say thanks for another good season.
Yeah.
I hope... I know it's getting long in tooth, and we all want that next game to come out so we can get that wind beneath our wings, so to speak, and get some more people into it. But I really do appreciate what you do for us. You come through every week, and you give us some commentary, even though we're not a very big league, and we're not, like, huge, and we don't give out money or whatnot. You still come here, you give us, something to listen to, something fun. There's always people having it on in the background and whatnot, and we get new people who join us because of you. So very much do appreciate you.
Yeah, I had a little bit of interest in the chat earlier. Whether or not that actually comes to fruition, we'll have to see. But hey, small streamer for a small league, but we're big time fun here on Tuesdays. Yeah.
Hey, we might be. Yeah, you might get bigger with the new game. Yeah, I mean, you started after Forza 7 and had already been out for a little while.
Yeah.
So with a new game, if you can get a big enough audience and you're on it first thing, and you could do everything that all these other people who never play Forza and all that stuff do. And you know what you're doing. You can make cars go fast, and you give out good broadcasts, especially with like leagues like ours. You might be the next one to have a big come up.
Boom! I found my hype man here in Fear the Fun. There we go.
I try to be.
All right, Fear. Have yourself a great rest of the week, and we'll, like I said, we'll catch you in a week's time.
You too, Dustin.
All right, thank you. All right. Let's go ahead and bring in the man of the hour, picking up, the man of the last 2 hours, and picking up a 10th consecutive Forza Spec Racing Series champ. Officially, mathematically has it locked down here after getting the win out at VIR in race number 7. Does it again out at Homestead at the Oval. LS Subaru, tell me what happened there. Kratrium was able to close that gap. I mean, you didn't have an insurmountable lead on Kratrium throughout the majority of the race, but it definitely was greater than what we saw in those last 10 to 12 laps.
There was a mirror in the middle of the apex on turn 1. So I hit that and it just went into a massive slide, and then he ended up right on my rear bumper for the rest of the race.
Those damn mirrors. We saw mirrors. I think I saw a couple of cones out there. It was getting a bit chaotic.
Yeah, I hit a second one later on as well, and Kratrium nearly passed me because of it.
Let's go ahead and let's get an LS Subaru top 3. Top 3 worst objects to hit out on the track in Forza Motorsport 7.
Cones third, mirrors second, tires first.
Tires, of course. If the donuts get tossed out there on the track, then that makes it a lot worse. But mirrors coming in second. How about that? Beating out cones. Cones are ashamed right now that mirrors have overtaken them.
Yeah.
Obviously, there toward the end, I was excited because I was like, oh, here we got a battle for first. But then that gap, you're able to extend that gap. I was actually even confused, too, because when I first saw you and Kratrium being that close to each other, I thought, oh, well, maybe Subaru decided to go in for a pit stop, get fresh tires, and just really, start blazing around the track here in these last few laps. But that was not the case at all. It was a case of the mirror. But I don't know. Was there any part of that there where you were thinking, oh, crap, I might give up the second race of the evening yet again after what we saw there in week number 3? Or were you feeling pretty confident after that mirror got dispatched from the track that you were good to go?
I was definitely thinking of whether or not that would actually cost my race, but yeah, I just had to stay concentrated, I guess,
Just buckle
and just
down,
make
yeah.
sure that I don't make sure that I don't make any mistakes.
It wasn't just foreign objects on the track that you had to work your way around, but there were also 6 to 7 other drivers. Like half the field was off of the lead lap. That includes drivers who usually are really, really quick, like Rex, even Modern Weapon, who unfortunately ended up going into pit lane several times. Patches Riley there toward the end was just having a terrible time. How were you able to avoid the lap traffic? I mean, that's the biggest. Those are the biggest objects out there on the track to work with.
Yeah, I just had to make sure that you had the right line when overtaking, especially when the traffic that you have to navigate around is also just had an accident and they're kind of just sitting in an awkward spot. Kind of, in some cases, have no choice but to slow down and just hope that you can get around them without losing too much time.
I can imagine on bigger tracks where you don't have as much lap traffic to deal with, communication is a lot easier to have happen amongst the racers because again, those occurrences seem to be fewer and far between. But on a race like this, is the communication just crazy, or do you all just kind of give up on it and say, "Hey, everybody, just watch your mirrors and be careful"?
I mean, it gets pretty intense whenever there's an accident on an oval, because everybody's just shouting out, "Oh, there's been a crash at turn X," just to really try and make sure that everyone is aware that there is a car standing still on the racing line.
And where that communication may have come in super handy, I feel like there was one moment coming out of turn number 2, and it had the grouping of the lead lap traffic all involved, where Patches Riley was on the exit of turn number 2 in a spot where you might see some drivers kind of inch up toward the wall and just try to get the most speed. He was pointed kind of diagonally out. So I suspect maybe that was one instance where you heard, "Hey, turn 2," and you had to adjust for that one. And was it really close or no?
Yeah, Quatrim and I had to take avoiding action there. There was also another one where I think it was Megatron that spun out on the exit of on turn 2, and we both of us had to slow down to avoid the accident because he was just spinning around on the corner.
Yeah. Crazy stuff that these ovals throw out that we don't see on any of the other tracks out there, especially the shorter oval. I mean, obviously the Daytona Tri-Oval probably was not as hectic, but Homestead really makes everybody keeps them on their toes, if you will. All right, Subaru. The big question is, you've locked in the championship. Unfortunately, with the non P1 finish out at Road Atlanta 1 week ago, you are not able to secure the golden broom here, a clean sweep of all 9 races. So, will we see you out at Sebring next Tuesday?
Yeah, may as well. I have nothing else on my week to do, so another race will be fun.
You say fun. How enthusiastic are you about the rain?
I mean, it's just another challenge. It's always nice to have a challenge.
Okay. All right. Giving another challenge to all the drivers for one final time here in the S800 BMW M3 LS Subaru. Well done here tonight. Congratulations on the 10th consecutive championship, now tying Cratrium in terms of drivers with the most number of championships here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. We'll see you next week.
Lays.
What? What is this? What is this exit? Who caught that? What was that? I don't know what that was. I would ask him, but he's already out of the chat. Quickly exited. Slow Motion Fire, how's it going? Let's see. You were the last driver on the lead lap after a good P5 finish out there. You said you wanted another P5 here at Homestead. You have to settle for P6.
Yeah, Kuda was out of tires. I was catching him there at the end, but it was just too little, too late.
Too little, too late, and perhaps might there have been at some point in that 56 laps where there were things that were slowing you down? I mean, maybe fifth, possibly even fourth would have been very much within reach, but again, just because of the craziness of a short track like Homestead, you probably have to come off the throttle quite a bit, several laps well off your normal pace.
Oh yeah, I was out of tires at the end of the race there too, and I'd chosen a little more conservative tune just to play it a little safe around Homestead. It wasn't the fastest build out there, and that kind of hurt me a little bit when I was trying to race with Bourne as well. He was able to get out of the corner a lot better than I, and then he was saving tires while he was doing that. So at the end of the race, he just drove away from me there too.
Yeah. Insane how like that right front tire, and I say it's insane, but really it's physics at work. How that plays in such a different role in a race versus the other seven that we had seen here throughout season 51. And now we go into the ninth race of the season where the tire compound changes to rain tires. And so as I was talking with Fear the Fun, it was a question of how long can those tires go out at Sebring. You'll have a little bit of precipitation out there. It seems like for a fair amount of the track. I think the chances of rain go down as the race goes on. But is that something we're really going to have to watch? I have to imagine the answer is yes. Is the tire situation maybe pushing drivers into pit lane more than once?
Yeah, so the way we've got the weather, we are guaranteed a transition to fog after the first roughly third of the race, and then the rain will be over at that point. So it'll be I think it'll be a tire saving game for the last 2/3. Subaru has proved here at Homestead and some other tracks this season that he can save tires.
Mm-hmm.
Patches can save tires. So I think maybe the fast cars, we might only see one pit stop for tires out of the guys that are playing that game. Otherwise, I think it might be a two stop if you're pushing hard and burning the tires off.
Yeah, and that's what always makes these final kind of mini endurance races very, very fun to watch. Even if the championship is not up for grabs, it's just kind of cool to see how the different strategies, different driving styles factor into the final results of the race. And of course, everybody else very much vying for position on the leaderboard. So even with the championship already claimed, there's still a lot to be achieved by our drivers out there on the track. Extra stick. What if you put pine tar on those tires? Oh, extra stick if you put pine tar. Well, hopefully not. I think you got enough stickiness there with the rain tires that you wouldn't need anything more. It's just they're going to burn up so quickly. What adjustments do you maybe make to account for a rain race out at Sebring?
Patience. You need a lot of patience with this car in the rain.
Yeah.
We did some practice laps here after we finished Homestead, and the opening laps, everybody was just sliding everywhere. Yeah. So you're gonna be running at about 80% in the rain, just trying to hold onto the car, keep it on the track, and pray that fog kicks in to where it quits raining.
Is this a race where finding a buddy, a partner there for a little bit of it helps out, or is draft and all that insignificant here in this vehicle and in Forza Motorsport 7 with the way the vehicle's set up here?
I don't think the draft will be a big deal. I mean, having a buddy to race with, give you somebody to chase. It seems like both drivers will pick up their pace because it just, you've got something to fight for. You get to running alone. At least myself, I have a tendency to start running slower if I'm out by myself. That being said, in the rain, I think you're going to want to give everybody a wide berth, just to be extra cautious there at the start of the race. You don't want to knock yourself out of contention right off the bat.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because what you all put into effect several seasons back now at this point, you guys have been doing this for quite a while, is the reverse grid ordering here for this final race, whereas before qualifying was just as much a part of the finale as every other race in the season. But now with the reverse grid order, you got drivers who are at the back who are probably itching to get up up front as quick as possible, but yet the rain is going to factor into that. So having that patience, as you talked about, it might be the deciding factor for some of the drivers where they finish in race number 9.
Yeah, it's a long race, about 95 minutes ish. There's no reason to be real pushy there at the start. I think we're going to see plenty of cars sliding around all over the place. So the fast guys, if they just pick their line, they'll get through there without having to risk much.
We'll see. I mean, I feel like we always say this, and then come race day, the back of the pack is like, no, I must get up front quick. I must be there now. I cannot wait. Well, but
you can plan all you want, but it all goes out the window as soon as that green flag flies.
That's
and the
right.
Red mist comes down, and
not that I would be one of those drivers at the back of the pack in that reverse grid order anyway, but I guess you could see it as a way to instill that tire conservation. Like if you're like, okay, well actually let me use this as a way to kind of just mediate my speed and not go guns blazing like right out the chute, could help with saving a lap or two worth of tires there. So yeah, we'll see how the drivers play it, but of course it'll always be exciting. Again, for those of you watching, just because the championship has been claimed, I hope to see you back here next Tuesday because we got a fun one on tap. I'm sure of it. All right, Slow. Anything left? I should say left for you to say. Any parting words here tonight?
Well, there's still plenty of battles for the championship points, even though it's Subaru has wrapped it up here. Audrex and Bourne are really battling for about third there. That's highly contested between the two of them. Myself and Kuda have been pushing each other all season, so I think next week will kind of be the culmination of that. I came out on top this week, so hopefully I can keep that run going and stay ahead of Kuda. So there are still some battles out there.
Born as Ghost there in the chat. 7 points to Audrex. It's on. Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's what's great is drivers. Many of the drivers here at FM4 know their limits and know have an idea of where they can finish, and maybe what is out of reach. And so if you set a goal saying that, hey, I'm going to finish in front of this driver, or I want to finish in the top 5, or grab P4 or something like that, like that's really the cool part about a community league like this, is that even if you know there are some limitations in terms of how well you could perform, it's always still going for that goal, even if you have like a stretch goal to aim for. That makes it fun. So love to see the competitive nature that will continue, that will ensue in race number 9, and it all includes Slow Motion Fire, as you just said. They're with you and Kuda. You got the better of Kuda this one, and we'll see how that goes in week number 9, where the points are doubled. Great chatting with you, and we'll see you in the finale out at Sebring.
All right, sounds good. We'll catch you next week, Dustin.
Thank you. All right, folks, that's it. We've run our course here tonight. Week number 4 is in the books. 1 week to go. Sebring in the rain down in Florida. It's going to be a slobber knocker. Perhaps. I don't know. Maybe it'll be just an ordinary race in which we see drivers do their due diligence in conserving tires and taking care of their car and not getting into wrecks or getting off the track. Sebring is definitely one of those circuits where you got to watch out. You could spend a lot of time spinning your tires in the grass. And, of course, with the rain that we've got, it's probably only going to amplify that much more. So hope you'll tune in with me 1 week from tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, same channel right here, X Adventure on Twitch. Where is my closing? There it is. Found it. All right, y'all. So, 1 week from tonight, 8 p.m., just as the screen suggests here. I'll be live next on Friday for an X Adventure game day, starting with Forza Horizon 5 and the Rally Adventure expansion, which releases tomorrow. But I promise you, I won't get to it until Friday. So for those of you who are curious to check that out, that's when you can see me there at approximately noon Eastern this coming Friday. That'll be followed by a few hours of MLB The Show 23. That game just released here to everybody, regardless of your early access or not. came out here today, and so I also won't be touching that one until Friday. Very much looking forward to that. I did not at all play MLB The Show 22. Getting back in it with 23. I'm a big baseball fan, so while this may run contrary to some of y'all's interest, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun way to kick off the weekend. And then on Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern, with day number 3 of my Alien Isolation playthrough, which has been a lot of fun. I'm really, really loving it. I'm actually kind of dreading the end of that one. No, I'm not dreading it. Man, we need another game like it here. Whether it be an Alien IP or something different. Be fun. All right, y'all. Be happy, be healthy. Be kind to one another. Have a great rest of the week. Until next time. Peace.